All right, Mike, we'll move on to the Sun Bowl in El Paso. Interesting matchup here, contrasting styles when we think Stanford football, the front seven on defense, the road graders on offense up front, leading the rushing attack. Of course, no Christian McCaffrey. Stanford wants to control the game, the time of possession, want to dominate physically against a North Carolina team that's just fun to watch. Ryan Switzer, we're going to see his swan song at North Carolina. He's had a tremendous career at Chapel Hill. No Elijah Hood in this game, but Mitch Trubisky possibly playing his last game. I believe he has announced his last game with Carolina. So hopefully the weather's going to be good because I want to see Carolina be able to run those receivers on pass plays and be able to throw it downfield.
Yeah, it's a very different matchup now, obviously, with no Christian McCaffrey for Stanford's offense. I mean, I think that's really is what's going to come down to here in this game. North Carolina's offense has been very solid all year long. They're going to be without Elijah Hood in this game, but they got all the receivers to contend with there. Stanford's got a lot going on defense that they're going to have to cover here with North Carolina's offense. You look at Switzer, Buck Howard, all the guys that they have playing the receiver position. It's been a really impressive run here for Mitch Trubisky as well, a quarterback, 3,400 yards passing, 28 touchdowns on the year. Stanford's defense has a lot to contend with. I think they'll hold up fine against North Carolina's offense, but I think the issue is going to be on the other side of the ball. I would have liked to have seen Christian McCaffrey play in this game because I think Stanford's rushing offense could have exposed North Carolina a little bit. But with no Christian McCaffrey, I have a really hard time seeing Stanford score enough points here to hang with North Carolina, because while I think Stanford will be able to keep North Carolina off the scoreboard, I'm not sure they'll be able to keep them off the scoreboard enough and score enough points on the other side of the football to win this football game. So with that being said, with all the stuff that's going on here, with no McCaffrey, a little bit of distraction here at Stanford, North Carolina, I know they lost to Duke in the season finale. They didn't get to make it to the ACC championship in Orlando, but Mitch Trubisky and the offense is just so explosive. I have a hard time seeing them losing this game against Stanford, even though it is contrasting styles. Stanford has that very solid defense. It's played well all year. It's kept them in a lot of games, but I think the loss of McCaffrey on offense will be a bit too much to overcome here in this game, so I like North Carolina to win.
Yeah, Stanford fans especially missing one last chance to see Christian McCaffrey in the garnet and white, but in particular because of what Mike alludes to. One season ago, it was a North Carolina defense against Baylor in a bowl game, giving up 550 some odd yards rushing to a four-string quarterback who was basically a wide receiver, so that they knew that they weren't going to pass and they still couldn't stop the run. So maybe McCaffrey would have finished in style in El Paso, but it was not to be. North Carolina taking on Stanford. And as I roll these teams through my mind, I think we're going to have a whole lot of fun, Mike, once we hit the offseason. And I really want to test your insight because, man, this is a sleeping giant of a division. It's been muddled. It's been mediocre, a lot of 8-4, 7-5 type teams, but North Carolina has been really good. I think Larry Fedora is on the right track. Virginia Tech trajectory going sky high, as well as Miami. It's going to be interesting to see who takes hold of this division in the next few years.